reputation of the militias, and they did a real good job. And the day after the election for the health care plan, immediately on major network television, they had a show on Law and Order that demonized the militias instantly. And then we've had almost every day something, and so we've got this snowball gathering again to demonize what could be potentially, what could be the last fabric of protection for that lady in the parking lot as they get dragged off to be raped and then killed. And so that is going to be something you're all going to begin seeing, is a lot of militia mainstream disinformation, which by and large leadership in the militia is very sane. If they're still there from the 90s, they've been at it for 15, 16, 20 years. They're very solid, normal, everyday people. They're everything from doctors to dentists to automobile workers to people in the military.
Retired military.
Retired military, yes. There's lots of them are coming from the reserve. Yes.
And maybe even active police, members of the police.
Police, there's policemen, firemen, and so the intelligence network for the militia is very deep because they have a cross-section of all the people in the country in various occupations. And so we've got people in the telephone industry. Talk about knowing what's going on. We have seen that happen. Now, as a person that's no longer, I'm able to, the militia knows me, and so they trust that I won't, that I'm not a plant or somebody in there to cause problem. So I'm often consulted to find out what my opinion is. Now, it doesn't make, I'm just a common everyday guy that kind of knows what they're up against, and so sometimes it's a good for them to have, and sometimes I'm sure they, didn't think it was too much of an opinion. But they do have quite a conundrum right now. And so with that in mind, Carrie, we also have to keep in mind there's a huge internal problem in the military itself. There's a huge fight going on inside the military. And this has been going on ever since 9/11, because what happened was with that last when we had 9/11 event, there was one plane that didn't hit its destination. At that point, Chinese battleships and Russian battleships turned around and went home. We kind of think they had something planned all along to attack us if that third one had made its destination. Why? Because it would have taken out command and control centers for the country. Militia are more interested in the freedom fighting aspects of keeping the country together, not anti-constitutional, but pro-constitutional, not anti-government, but anti-corruption.
Okay, so, John, thank you.
That's all I can tell you.
I'm going to stop you right here, and we've got a short break, and we're going to have a few minutes. You can get yourself a cup of coffee, and we'll be right back.
Sure.
Okay, this is Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot Whistleblower Radio, and our website is ProjectCamelot.org. And I encourage everyone to go there, take a look at our 4 years worth of video and audio work, interviewing whistleblowers and researchers and experiencers across the globe. And we intend to continue this mission. John Waterman is here with me, Dr. John Waterman, not his real name. And we were just talking even during the break about a question that's coming through. So I want to jump to that question if it's okay with you, John.
Sure.
Basically, the person is saying, do you think that the attacks on the U.S. politicians as a result of Obamacare is the beginning of moving things to a new level? What's your take on that?
Well, the moving to the new level happened when he signed the bill. That's definitely. But the attacks, they knew there was going to be the potential for America to be very upset about this. And this is a perfect time for them to start that smear counter intel, they call it, or you might say psyops. Psyops is always going to come before something occurs. So they have to demonize their biggest threat to the power base they have. See, these people don't have any power without weapons. Right now, the United States is the Muppet. They're just the cannon powder. They're the bullets. And with our government being taken over like it is, they send these troops all over the world at their whim. I mean, we're not talking about a police department getting a page and asking somebody to go. Imagine how powerful people might think if they had the control of a small town police department where they could just harass everybody. But imagine having the power of the entire United States and how you could just deploy it at almost your own, will. All you have to do is stage it, do a little research, plan it ahead of time, have all the pieces in place, use the media to ramp it up, and voila, you've got your war in Afghanistan or you've got one in Iran. And, what's happening is that America has lost its sense of, hey, other nations have autonomy. They can do what they want. Why are we attacking them when they haven't attacked us? I'm not saying that we shouldn't protect ourselves, but we've gotten into very interesting times where people are deluded into thinking that these things have to be done. And I think this has a lot to do with the mind control that's been going on, that the mainstream media has, and there's a lot of other, interesting talks that we can talk about. But definitely these attacks that you keep hearing about, more than likely, are part of a planned deception. They're not militia people. And every time, Carrie, as you know, when we hear about an attack, say, for example, when you hear about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln or the guy that hit Kennedy, or they have three names. Well, the guy that hit the IRS building in an airplane, he had three names. Again, anytime you hear three names, I want everybody to understand they're trying to make you think it was one person.
Yeah, that's interesting. Just one of those kind of insider little tips on some of this. This is again sort of an occult thing.